couple things I want to chat about. Two different articles regarding silver. Some interesting news with silver. But first, I got to tell you a little story. I'm a little bothered right now. I just got done doing the Lindsey Williams summary video prior to this one. And even while I was doing that, I was bothered. Not just by the epic failure of the information that didn't really tell you one way or the other about his elite friend, because his elite friend didn't even contact him apparently to tell him anything. So it's just his opinion, which I honestly don't care about. But we had a 2005 van. I've talked about this before. Debt-free, just paying our rent here. Everything's good. But this van's been causing problems for a little while. Starting to stall out, a bit when you're slowing down at a light. Can't have that with my wife and kids in that van. Needs struts, needs tires, power steering, rack and pinions, got a problem, just leaking a little bit. Time to dump it. I said, it may be time to get my wife a nice car. I don't mean something like super, go spend a ton of money, like $40,000. Not talking about that. Not even talking about a brand new car. A used car. But damn it, we need something newer. She does. Needs a nicer car, nicer van. So went to a dealership, Honda dealership, looking for a used Honda Odyssey. Didn't really have anything. Some stuff was a little too high mileage. Some stuff was a little too old. But they've got this beautiful 2015. It was some kind of I think they bought it from another dealer or something, or from the records. It looks like it was owned by a rental company. It was a minivan. From the driver's seat back looked brand new, like no one ever sat in it. I thought, well, it was a rental. That's very possible. 43,000 miles for 2015. But man, it was nice. Got all the extras, the DVD player, the GPS and the backup camera. I mean, just nice. And I said, my wife really liked it. She deserves a nice car. Let's get this thing. You know what? You got great credit anyways. It's going on your credit. Of course, her credit, no problem. Here, out the door. See ya. And I've been noticing this. We just got this a few days ago. I'm noticing, about a week ago. Man, there's these spots on my driveway. This place has an HOA fee where we're renting. You can't have spots in your driveway. That's a fine. Probably from the old van. That spot looks brand freaking new. Let me touch it with my finger. Yeah, it's leaking something. Smells like oil, maybe. Okay. It's 2015. Engine looks clean. Crawl under the vehicle. It's wet almost all over. Drops a little oil stuff coming from, I'm assuming, maybe a valve cover. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Now, this dealer said, all of the vehicles we get in here that are used, we do our 360-degree, 50-point inspection and make sure. This thing is almost leaking like a sieve. I'm going to get nailed with a fine. I was out there scrubbing the hell out of the area where that van's been parked. In the driveway, cement, driveway. Before the damn HOA people come by for their monthly or whatever viewing of the area and say, oh, what the hell's this over here? Who's this new guy? I had to send him a letter. So that's been on the back of my mind in these last two videos, and I'm pissed off. And I'm going to be calling that Honda dealer first thing in the morning. You said you do these big inspections on all these vehicles. This thing's I popped the hood, and I can even see some oil over here, a little bit of oil over there. It's on top of the transmission even. You didn't even look at this vehicle. Don't tell me you did. You didn't. You're going to fix this immediately. That's how that conversation is going to go. So on to some news about silver. Couple things. First, we're going to start with primary silver mining company to cut production 25% in 2016. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. J-Snip, go back to your old videos. This sounds too familiar. No wonder why. It was highlighted in my email as if I didn't read it. But I did read it because I just did a video on this February 6th, which was yesterday, or Saturday actually. I thought I did it. So with that still in your mind, the other thing, which I was tying into this video, is the banking cabal, according to silver doctors, is running out of time in silver, or are they? The clock is ticking in silver. Ladies and gentlemen, for months, and this is from the Wealth Watchman, for months I've written about how the diminishing price/supply in silver, coupled with fresh record demand, will lead to a, quote, religious experience for the market riggers. On Saturday, I did an interview with Wall Street for Main Street on the topic as well. Well, in the last few days, the downward spiral of COMEX silver ounces has turned into a gigantic plummet, a rout of 2011 proportions. And you know what happened in 2011, remember that? We had $50 silver. Just look at the warehouse numbers for Friday. One glance, and you'll instantly understand something is very wrong on the silver scene. You actually put a link up at the picture, but it's actually no good. Absolutely brutal. The COMEX registered silver category bled roughly 7.8 million ounces in one single day. This equates to over 21% of total registered silver stocks or supply gone in 24 hours. Now, it's true we might occasionally see numbers like this in gold, such as we saw just last week, when over 200,000 golden registered ounces left their coffers in one business day. However, it's simply not been like this in silver. Now just look at where this one-day collapse has brought the long-term silver chart via Jesse's Cafe and Gold Charts Are Us, but again, this link's no good right now. Brothers, we are back at the levels last seen in May of 2011. You'll remember that was when silver's upward price spikes were roughly $1 per day. Wholesale silver was beginning to dry up, and the world was cornering available silver. The banksters had a serious problem and engineered the May Day massacre of 2011 to stave off the supply crunch and buy time. This time, however, the registered supply crunch is becoming a steady reality in the face of collapsing prices. Totally different. Last time the banks had the leeway to absolutely rock silver's price 2, 3, or 4 times over the next year to cool off demand. What will they do this time? That trick will no longer work. If they whack prices 30% again, as they did twice before, from $14, we'll be looking at a spot price of roughly $9.80. Do you think that the problem of deepening wholesale tightening could be solved at sub $10 silver? You bet your life it wouldn't, he says. The base and precious metal miners, already preparing to give up the ghost, would be TKO'd, technical knockout, by such price action. And stackers the world over, especially in India, would end this game rather quickly. The number of COMEX registered silver ounces would collapse even more steeply, virtually overnight. Now consider this, it took nearly 4 years to build those reserves up from 26 million to 70 million ounces. 4 long years, yet it took just 9 months to bring it back to earth. It took the stairs up and the elevator down, so to speak. Further, most of the silver ounces that the cabal has been using to satisfy COMEX deliveries with have been coming from CNT for months. The problem for them, though, is that the last withdrawal from CNT of nearly 4 million ounces in a single day has now taken CNT to roughly 400,000 ounces. CNT has virtually 0 ounces left to make deliveries whole. It appears that Brinks will now be the next in line on the chopping block, but they've got just 10 million ounces in the vault. That could be gone in a month very easily. As some have heard, though, there's another huge indicator that the cabal is running out of time on the silver and gold scene, and that would be LBMA, or London Bullion Market Association, chaos. The bankers are desperate to hold down silver at these levels, as are the tech funds who've been duped into heavily shorting at price levels which are completely bonkers. Last week, though, the telltale sign that things are coming apart behind the scenes was the chaos at the LBMA silver fix in London, and I've discussed this already. In the early hours, there was a flash crash of roughly 60% in silver. Almost a buck, it was actually about 84 cents, I think, was shaved off in seconds, only to be placed back minutes later. Remember, the London Silver AM fix is the worldwide benchmark used to settle millions of ounces of contracts for the largest miners, refiners, jewelers, and investors in the world every single day. And by the way, I just read that 6 of the members, I think, of LBMA have called it quits. They're relinquishing their membership. And I'm going to tell you now with certainty, and it's my opinion, but I'm going to tell you with absolute certainty, it was because of that rigging fix. They said, we're out. We're not going to be a part of this. There's like 40-something of them total, but 6 of them have left right after this happened. So that's a good sign. At least we know some people see that and say, hey, we can't be a part of that. We're out. Which goes to prove their discredibility at, the club. And whether it's the COMEX, the LBMA, London fix, it doesn't matter. It is one more nail in the coffin of these bastards. Yet for nearly a quarter of an hour, there was utter confusion on the actual price of silver. When normalcy returned, anyone who had sold their silver at the London fixed price was absolutely screwed. This was so open, so blatant, that the good news is that fresh investigations are now being conducted into the goings-on with the London fix and how it operates. I wonder how that's going to turn out. The club's going to investigate itself. If you'll remember, just last year, the older London fix was replaced with an electronic fix, meaning the rigging just got more precise and computer-controlled. Nothing changed, same criminality. However, the big question is why the world needs a fix of any price for any good, commodity, or service at all. The London fix is an antiquated dinosaur that arch criminals have used for generations to play their games with silver and gold. Hopefully, when this game ends and the rigging snaps, the entire notion of a fix will be put to rest for good. But as bad as all this is, the very worst news for the silver rigging scheme is a likely event soon to occur, which will absolutely torch remaining gold and silver stockpiles. In fact, we saw the newest reminder of it just last week. Negative interest rates. The entire world has been kept afloat by 0% interest rates, or ZIRP, for the last 8 years. Everyone and their pet frog at world central banks was in a mad dash to take interest rates to zero. Never mind that it destroyed pensioners and retirees. Never mind that it destroyed trillions of dollars of wealth. Never mind that it was enacted to keep insolvent banks afloat. At humanity's expense, of course. No, the banks do what they want and the people be damned. Well, this is the likely next worldwide step in their mad scheme to hold the Ponzi together just a little while longer. And he says, the next part of this is Bank of Japan adopts negative interest rates and fails to increase quantitative easing. So it says, I'm not going to read all this, but it says, for well over 4 years and almost 5 at this point, the bankers bought valuable time in silver and gold. The surging global demand for both metals means their borrowed time is almost utterly spent. For some reasons here, the broken LBMA silver fix action, the record 500-to-1 claims on COMEX gold to paper gold, which I know 300-to-1 was a shocker. Now it's like 500-to-1. the near 8 million ounce removal of registered silver in a single day, all means that we're in the home stretches of this marathon against criminality. The banksters have had all the inside info, the most advanced trading platforms, government protections, and all the regulators tied up in knots. What they will soon fail to have enough of is silver. We stackers have the bankers just where we want them. If they take the price lower, our stacking ends it all quicker. If they let it run too far higher, then silver has a technical breakout and new momentum chasers come pouring into the market, big buyers that haven't been here for years. If they keep the price where it is, they keep bleeding the rest of their ounces slowly but surely. So I'm pretty much in agreement with this article. All you can do is keep stacking and waiting. Nothing else. Keep stacking and waiting. Get some popcorn. Take care.